I'm here continuing my illustrious new hobby of talking to scammers online. Now, today's particular scammer. Found him from the same group I found the 2600 sergeant, and I didn't find him. He found me. And my favorite thing about these is even when they lie horribly, like the funniest thing to me is when they have a go, but it's total shit. I've never seen a scam fall apart as badly or as quickly as today's scammer. Like I did last time, I will show you his profile picture without the name so that if you know who this person is, please let them know that their pictures are being used illegally to scam people. So this is today's scammer. Whoop. If you know this person, please let them know because all I'm able to do is report the profile on Facebook, and it doesn't have an option where they are scamming people. There's a pretending to be someone else. There's a fake profile. But then they'll be like, well, he didn't violate community standards, so there's nothing we can do. So the least that we can do is spread awareness. And if you happen to know this person, let them know that their pictures are being used illegally. So anyway, he found me on a group. Oh, and my normal disclaimer. I do not find these people. They find me. I participate in normal groups on Facebook, and there are certain groups that are, there are certain groups that are just swimming with these scammers. And it's a very loud motorcycle. And I'll participate in a couple of posts or whatnot, and then within 24 to 48 hours, I have between 1 and 8 messengers in my spam box. So anyway, he messaged me on an early day this month, bright and early, very early in the morning, with a simple hello. Oh, hello. And then we start the script. Now, if you watched my last video on the 2600 Sergeant, this script should sound very familiar because it's the same script. However, he buggers this so bad that I find it absolutely comical. So, anyway. You got a cute name. I don't. My Facebook profile name is a combination of my first and second name. Mostly because I don't like to be found easily by people at work, but whatever. The world is wonderfully made. It's nice to know about your weather condition over there. And where are you from? I may do different accents, just depending on how the message sounds in my head. Just, it's not to insult anybody. This is just me, just so you know. I always give honest information, and if I share anything, like sometimes they'll ask for your pictures or whatever, anything that I share is stuff that you can already see from my Facebook profile, even though it's on lockdown. It's whatever information's available there. So for example, I'm from the United States. I live in Brazil. You can see that by looking at my profile or my LinkedIn. I actually think my YouTube probably has more personal information than anything else. So anything that I say to them is 100% information that is already accessible. And if they push beyond that, like show me a full body picture, if it's not in my profile, I'm not sending it to you. That's where my rule is with there. Anything that I send to them is information they can already find from what's available to the public. Anyway, I said I'm from the US. I live in Brazil. It's very warm for the middle of winter, which it is. It is July here, which makes it the middle of winter, and it's like 85 degrees. Somebody lied. It is my pleasure to meet you. How is everything over there? I seek for friendship with you, which was why I wrote you. Where are you from? The pleasure is mine to meet you. I'm Dr. So-and-so, but they call me short version of so-and-so. I'm from the United States of America. What about you? Like I literally just told you where I was from. So I led into the career, and I'm totally honest. I'm a teacher. Where are you from in the States? And then he wrote a message that I did not see. Usually I'm pretty good about seeing them beforehand, but I did not. He asked me again where I'm from. It's the third time that he's asked me, where are you from? And then I did not answer that question. I asked him where he was from in the States. And then he says, well, Am a surgeon doctor presently with the United Nations soldiers in Afghanistan. This should sound very familiar. I'm sent by the President Donald Trump to secure the health of the USA soldiers and Army lives here. For the record, military people in the Army are called soldiers. You wouldn't have to double up and call them both, but whatever. This sounds very familiar. I'm like, already, they're some kind of commanding officer, a lieutenant, a sergeant, talked to a 5-star general once. That was impressive. Or whatever. Or there's some kind of doctor that works over in Kabul, Afghanistan on a peacekeeping mission. Those things actually exist. There are actually real human beings over there that are performing that duty. I'm pretty sure he's not one of them. Anyway, I told him what city I was from. Again, information that's available on my profile. It is my, copy and paste. It is my pleasure to meet you. How is everything? I seek for friendship. And then I said, everything is as fine as it can be. Ah, this should sound very familiar. Now, please note, he said he was a surgeon. And then he says, over here is a war zone and we lost lives every day. The ISIS and the Talibans, it should be Taliban. I do know how to pronounce that word, but they spell it T-L-I-B-E-N-S. So that's not my fault. I promise. I know how to pronounce the word. They don't know how to spell it. Are very heartless people. We are fighting for the peacekeeping and also the independence of the Afghanistan people. And then he tells me about his history. I grew up in Cornwall-on-Hudson, New York, and graduated from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point in 1974. I earned MPA and PhD degrees in international relations from Princeton University's Woodrow Wilson School of Public and International Affairs, and later I served as an assistant professor of international relations at the U.S. Military Academy. I also completed a fellowship at Georgetown University. Is there a human being out there that has been to Princeton and Georgetown and West Point? I absolutely believe it. There is probably a human being out there that's been to all three of those. There's probably lots of them. Is he one of them? I doubt it. Just don't think so. So I'm also going to point out that he said he was a surgeon, but his PhD is in international relations from Princeton. Don't you have to have a medical degree to be a surgeon? Isn't there some kind of medical school? Something? Some kind of I don't know. Usually there's some kind of medical degree or 5 that goes into becoming a surgeon. He also didn't say what kind of surgeon he was. So I assume general surgery, but I imagine that there are, whatever, he's full of it, and we all know that. So after he tells me all of that, from West Point to Princeton to Georgetown and the U.S. Military Academy, and then became a surgeon? Wow, you're quite accomplished. So are you in the Army? I got a little confused. Yes, dear. I'm Lieutenant General. Not I am a Lieutenant General. I'm Lieutenant General. Wow! How old are you? It's quite impressive to be a 3-star general surgeon. That's what I said, yeah. 3-star general surgeon, because a lieutenant general is a 3-star general. I looked it up because I have that kind of time. So a lieutenant general in particular is a very special rank to have chosen, because the 3-star lieutenant general is not just an average rank that's given to a soldier. From what I read, I could be totally wrong. I'm basing this off of the article that I read and the paper that I read. It is appointed by the president, and it's a temporary rank for long as that position needs an officer. It's not a rank that you just walk around carrying like Master Sergeant or, forgive me, my mind has gone completely blank for my members of military service. Anyway, so I asked how old he was, and it's quite impressive to be a 3-star general and a surgeon. Mm-hmm. Then he said he's 45 years old. If you graduated in 1974, I believe that optimistically that would make you 65, 66 years old. That's at the youngest. So I don't know where he's getting the 45 from. And I said, wait, how is that possible if you graduated in 1974? And then he asked me how old I was, and I responded, I'm 29. He's like, 1974? Question mark, question mark. Sorry, I meant 1994. I said, okay. So he doesn't know what year he graduated from. He has made up a military rank that it was just so random. You could literally pick any other one. It would be, one, as impressive, and two, would be real. So anyway, so there's that. And then I said, what kind of surgeon are you? And then he says, I'm an lieutenant. So not a surgeon? Yes, dear. Okay, so I talked about this before. He stopped talking to me at this point because I start sending him questions. I point out that the fact that they're, as an English teacher, and they pretend that they're from the United States, they have multiple degrees, depending on who they are. Some of them are just very well, none of them are just a normal Joe talking to a normal person on the other side. Is it average Joe? It's average Joe, not normal Joe. Whatever. None of them are just a normal person. I have a normal, everyday, perfectly attainable rank in the United States military, and I'm completely talking to a total normal person. Like, I've achieved normal things in my life. That just doesn't happen. They just don't do that. And I've never understood that. I don't know why they do. I'm a private first class in the military deployed. Like, why don't they ever do that? They don't. It's always some kind of 4-star, 5-star general, and I do this and I do that, and I'm amazing. I'm not sure why, because I've never gotten that far in a scam yet. But anyway, so he stopped talking to me. I didn't stop talking to him, but he stopped talking to me. So he said he's not a surgeon. Yes, dear. Okay. Oh, I was talking about the language thing. Sorry, before I continue. The skipping of the word I. Well, am a surgeon or whatever. That's a very common linguistical pattern of someone whose first language is one, not English, because in English, you have to have the subject before the verb in order to make it make sense. Because our conjugations, for example, the verb to be, I am, sure, but he is, she is, and then it goes to are. The verb to be was a bad example to use there. Can, I can, he can, she can, they can. It doesn't change based on the subject, whereas in other languages, it does. In Portuguese, you can completely omit the subject of the sentence when it's that kind of statement, because the verb will tell you what the subject is. So skipping the first word is indicative of either English not being their first language or English not being a very high level where they're from. And then also the word dear is a dead giveaway because we just don't use it. It's annoying to me. I think there's one person in my life that has called me dear and I wasn't like offended. Offended is the wrong word, but it icks me out. Like, it makes me feel gross. I don't care for that word. So anyway, I continued to message him, just a couple more messages, just because. Why did you say you were a surgeon then? I promise, I'm only asking questions about the information you've given me. So you're a 3-star general lieutenant on a peacekeeping mission in Afghanistan. You're 46 and you have several degrees. Is that all correct? No answer. Did I lose your interest? No answer. I'm all alone. I miss you. Tell me stories about your adventures in Afghanistan. He's seen these messages, by the way. He hasn't blocked me yet, and I don't know why. Anyway, that was the one I sent today. So that's the end of him. And then the next step after I hang up with this video is I will block him. I'll delete the messages. I'll go to Facebook and report the profile. Though there's not much I can do because they just haven't gotten there yet. They haven't gotten that far. So anyway, if you happen to know who that person is, please let them know that their pictures are being used. That is the beginning of a scam. That person sucks at it. But anyway, so I find it absolutely hysterical that he doesn't remember how old he is. He doesn't remember where he graduated from. He doesn't remember that he was a surgeon that he told me. And I'm like, I'm not making this up. That's what you told me. So anyway, it was hilarious at the time. And that is today's Catfish. So thank you all for listening. If you have anyone that you want to send my way, please do, because I've got that kind of time right now. Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Thank you for watching, and I will see everybody next time. Bye-bye.